Alright, so just wanted to share a positive message that I got, and this is somebody who's supported me. Sent me a very nice message. In a way, it it's just kind of in contrast to the message that I received not too long ago, where somebody's saying I was a disgrace to the martial arts, and this person is giving me the opposite energy, positive. So I wanted to share that as well, to create that balance. Said he's very proud of me for teaching Kung Fu and passing down the positive energy to the next generation. He wishes he could do what I'm doing. You know, he says that he's living in Los Angeles and he trained in Chole Foot. And his teacher passed away. And his teacher was also promoting positive energy. Um, he just wanted to give me positivity, and he's very proud of what I'm doing. He sent a picture of himself. He's an Asian person. He's also a part of the U.S. Marines. I'm very thankful for that message. I've received positive messages, and I don't really share those messages all the time, but I want to start sharing it because, this is an important aspect of what I do, is to share that positive energy. But it goes with how things are in life. Sometimes things are 50% positive and 50% negative. If I left the ratings enabled, a lot of times it's 50 likes, 50 dislikes. I received a hate message, then I receive a positive message. Everything just breaks even. And the positive energy is definitely needed. And I really appreciate it. It really gives me motivation in what I do. And this person has a lot in common with me. For one, he started training in Chole Foot, Kung Fu, and that's what I started with as well when I started martial arts. He's Asian, I'm Asian. He's in the Marine Corps, and I used to be a police officer, so we're kind of similar in our viewpoints. And I think that this person is a person that is representing, more of what martial arts is. It's just kind of something where there's a lot of martial artists out there that are just hidden. They're part of the military, they're part of law enforcement, or they're just part of the everyday community of people that we interact with that just train, secretly, or they train privately. And this is the real stuff. When people go to the military, they're enlisting to go to war if that time comes. And they're sacrificing their lives to protect the country. And they're dealing with real firearms, real weapons. And if war comes, there's a good chance they might not come back. People get shot, people get killed, and this is the real thing. It's not fake guns. This is not Hollywood. This is not, this is not something that's for your entertainment. This is the reality of survival. And that is part of what martial arts is. It's about reality. It's not about playing games. And the military, they know this. And same thing with law enforcement. Officers die in the line of duty all the time. And that's what I was involved with in the past. I'm about educating the public about the reality of combat, not for entertainment, not combat sport, not Hollywood, but the reality. And there's people out there that are representing that. There's people out there that have concealed carry, that are ready to go, ready to kill if need be, and prepared for death when that time comes. And you know, I know there's people out there like that. They're just hidden. And I do have supporters out there. And I'm thankful for that, you know, and there's just a lot of hatred out there, a lot of competition, and that positive energy helps a person to keep moving forward. And, you know, I think when it comes to somebody like Bruce Lee, you know, I think, you know, Asians in general, like sticking together, supporting each other, it's very important, you know, because there's just not a lot of Asian role models, especially in America. We just don't have many, you know, very few, you know, so it's like when you see somebody like a Bruce Lee, you could pretty much see a part of yourself. And when you see people supporting Bruce Lee, that's like people supporting you, you know, and your people. You know, but when you see people disrespecting Bruce Lee, then that's like people disrespecting you and your people. You know, and it's like if people are hating on me and they're Asian, a lot of times that's kind of making things worse. You know, it's like we already, you know, get disrespected a lot in, you know, mass media. And having self-hatred just makes it all the worse. But when we support each other, then we get stronger. And I just feel that Asian people in general in America just need more respect. It's not just about Bruce Lee. It's not just about Chinese people. You know, it's about all Asians deserve respect. And ultimately, all human beings deserve respect. But I just feel that Asian people tend to be the main ones that get a lot of the verbal abuse and just 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 very much lack of respect out there. And you know, I think things need to change. You know, we need more Asian role models for the Asian people, you know, to get them to be stronger, be able to speak up, and be able to provide some sort of guidance, you know, inspiration to the public. Because I feel in the Asian cultures, there's just a lot that can be shared, you know, not just the Chinese culture, but all Asian cultures, from the Korean culture to Japanese culture to the Thai culture. Like, there's a lot of positivity to be shared, you know, that America could greatly benefit from. And an illustration to this is just when you look at the vehicles, for example. I mean, Americans love Japanese cars, you know, and I do my research on these cars, and you just see how much of a high quality, you know, automotives that come out of, you know, Japan, and how Americans just love the cars even more than they love the American cars. You know, you got the American cars like Ford and Chevy, but so many people love like Toyota, you know, Subaru, Honda, Infiniti, Acura, Nissan. You know, so many people love those cars because they're just so well made and they're so reliable, and the price is right. You know, they're not overly expensive, and there's just beauty coming from technology coming from Japan But I'm saying there's that same beauty coming from these Asian countries when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to a different way of viewing, life, living life, you know, living longer, promoting health and peace, opposed to America, which is the opposite. A lot of times, just very destructive, very competitive. Combat sports all about destroying your body and just retiring at an early age and dying young and receiving injuries. But martial arts is supposed to be about longevity, health, peace, compassion, living a long, healthy life. So it's opposite. And when you see so many people that could appreciate some of the technologies coming from the East, and in addition, most of everything that we use is created and produced from China. So if we're going to be using all these products from Eastern countries and all these technologies, then as Americans, why are we disrespecting Asian people? I know racism goes both ways. I know there are some traditional Asian people that are very racist, but it should be understood that not all Asian people are racist. Not all minorities will hate, and be racist towards white people, or whatever the case may be. Ultimately, respect towards Asians can lead towards respect towards all races of people, and then we just treat human beings as we should treat them, as human beings. And I'm just thankful for the support, and I hope to grow. I hope that we could have some more modern living, Asian entertainers and actors and athletes or personalities or whomever that can provide an inspiration for the people. Bruce Lee has always been an inspiration to me, and one of my former teachers is coming out with a new movie starring as Bruce Lee. His name is Philip Ng, and maybe he will gain a following and provide an inspiration to the public. And I'm gonna continue to do what I'm doing. Hopefully, I gain more more support. But I think that it's definitely time for America to start appreciating some people from the East. And martial arts is from the East. And there wouldn't be such a thing as UFC if it wasn't for the martial arts. And the UFC is so popular, they just recently sold out for $4 billion. So people love the UFC, but the origination of the UFC is from martial arts. And it even got bought out from a Chinese person. So people, I hope they start to open their eyes to see, that your superheroes in the cage, who are typically all white or black, well, the origination of your superheroes are from the Eastern countries. And you should learn to pay respects to the people of the East. Because I see that there's just people love to bully other people, and I think it's time for us to stop bullying everybody, to not push the bullying onto another race, because it used to be, you know, the whites bullying the blacks, and then now it seems to be everybody wants to bully Chinese people, you know, or Asian people. But we need to just stop the bullying altogether and just be respectful and appreciative of people of all races. And that's ultimately what I want to lead towards. You know, I'm very thankful for this person, you know, to support me. You know, another Asian person. You know, and like I said, I think Asian people need to stick together, because it's hard to get support out there, you know, in general. And when you see like Chinatowns, like Chicago Chinatowns, that's like Asian people supporting one another to build such a thing as a Chinatown. And then you have people of other races visiting Chinatown that really do appreciate Chinatown. And the Chinatown wouldn't be in existence if Asian people didn't come together to build. You know, there wouldn't be such a thing as a Chinatown. You know, so I feel that Asians need to come together, you know, and build, and then locate individuals that are non-Asian to appreciate the Asian cultures, and to keep building from there. Because I think there's just a lack of, very much a lack of Asian influence within America. And maybe it's systematically engineered to be this way, potentially, because America may perceive China and these Eastern countries to be a threat upon their power. So they don't want too many Asian people influencing Americans towards their way. And that might be the reason. But that's not really a justifiable reason if the Asian way is a better way, you know. And I'll bring it back to the vehicles. If you're talking about an American-made vehicle like a Ford or a Chevy that breaks down in 5 years, and then people are spending thousands of dollars on on a product that is just not performing. But then you got a Japanese-made vehicle that lasts for 20 years with no problems for half the price, and then the performance is even better, then you should not prevent, you know, the Americans from gaining access to this technology just because it's coming from an Asian country. You know, that's like America banning the use of Japanese-made automotives because they're jealous of their advancements in technology. And to me, it's similar to the way of life. Like when you have Americans who are obese and the lifestyle is just about being lazy, about drinking alcohol, you know, smoking cigarettes, you know, practicing combat sport, watching combat sport, you know, dying early in football and wrestling and cage fighting, and just living a very unhealthy lifestyle, eating unhealthy junk food and McDonald's and, you know, hamburgers and fries. But then when you go to these Asian countries like Japan and China, the way that they eat, the way that they live, if you do your research, you find out that the longest living people come from Hong Kong and Japan and a lot of these Eastern places where their nutrition, their way, you know, the way that they eat is very balanced, and they exercise and they practice martial arts and they practice arts and dancing, and it's more of a peaceful way. You know, it's less competitive, it's more humble, you know. So there's a certain way of life that's coming from the East that is very different than here in the West, and we all need to learn that way of life, you know, and we need more Asian influences within America. And I don't see myself ever being a part of Hollywood, but I do appreciate having the opportunity to be a part of YouTube, to pretty much share a part of my life, a part of my art, and I need the support of the people out there. All people, but especially the Asians, because without the support of my own people, it's going to be just so much harder to succeed, you know. And I'm thankful for the support. I'm very thankful, because I'm going up against a lot. You know, there's people from all races that are against me, you know, and I'm going up against a multi-billion-dollar industry. You know, the UFC. I'm going up against a lot, you know. So many people love that, and I'm one of the few to speak against that. And there's a lot of resistance coming towards me, but I feel that it's necessary. It's very necessary to voice my opinion and to share the opposite of what UFC represents. You know, I think the public needs that. You know, and we need to express and share positive energy within the martial arts, and we need to support one another as martial artists.